Hello again. Okay, the rest of the story. Um, as we discussed, uh, situation at my workplace were getting worse and worse. And it was around August 2020 that like the confrontations were reaching to a higher level. Mostly it was a clash between myself with two other senior doctors, my supervisor, Dr. Dr. Rachel Hadipur, and her husband, Dr. Marashi, which was clinical principal. Yep, and it was one of the like turning like milestones was 13th of August that we had a long conversation on WhatsApp Messenger. The conversation that was denied by Dr. Marashi in our initial legal correspondence, and later on in the hearing, during the hearing at favour commission, even though he was under oath, and although those things was mentioned, I have mentioned that like months before that hearing, and he could have checked it, even if he claims that he was forgetting it, he could have checked it before the hearing. He again denied that conversation within the hearing session while he was under oath. Yeah, 13th of August, we had a long conversation through text message, voice messages that we were exchanging, and I was officially complaining that this is not the situation that I can tolerate, and this is even against law. However, at some parts of the conversation and in one of the voice messages that I'm going to play it today, you can see the level of unacceptable behavior and attitude of this doctor, who is a registered doctor, still a registered doctor in Australia, towards people, towards our local patients. Shortly referring to the matter, I had a patient, like near 50 or 51-year-old lady, was coming to the practice for a while, nearly like 2-3 years, with recurrent urinary tract infection. And she was seen by two other doctors that I mentioned, just very quickly, and they just prescribed her antibiotics, and that's it. There were no investigations. And when I saw that patient, I said, why actually you haven't been through any investigation? Because it's not normal for you at this age and just over the past few years having like recurrent urinary tract infections. There should be an investigation. And then our third patient for investigation, a kidney tumor was detected, and fortunately my decision to send patient for investigation was quick enough to save patient life, because later on when we did the referral, we realized that the tumor did not metastasize or did not spread, and even in surgeons, they were able to remove the tumor by saving the main parts of the kidney, which was the patient technically was saved through a thorough approach. Of myself, the patient was, but before that, the patient was neglected through short visits by 2 other doctors. When the diagnosis was made, it was a shock for patient, and she requested that correspondence with her workplace all be done through my personal email instead of clinic email, because she was not comfortable for clinical staff that apparently knew her to be aware of all details of her medical condition and correspondence. So I had this chat with my indemnity provider, MDA, and also the other doctors, and I decided to provide that option for patient to provide her with more comfort, especially in that time that she was under lots of stress. Dr. Marashi was not happy because he believed that we should not do that much of favor for patients and make them demanding. And yes, he was in the voice that I'm just going to play, in the voice message that I'm going to play, actually it was not a record that I did, it was a record that he did himself and sent it to me. He was trying actually to instruct me about professional and Australian way of practicing medicine, according to himself actually. Before I play that voice, I need to mention a few points. First of all, I do apologize because of the things that you are going to hear in that voice. As a medical doctor and also as an Iranian medical doctor, it's not our approach towards patients. I love to work for my patients, and it has been always like this. But that's very repulsive to see someone disrespecting patients, and to see a doctor has that attitude towards patients instead of being caring towards them. And with that, you can find many things and understand the real dynamics in my workplace and the things that I've been through. Last point before playing the voice record is that Dr. Marashi had a tendency to call Australians English. Most of the time, he said, English people like this, English people like that, and we knew that he's referring to Australian people. Although we have many English immigrants in Western Australia, I don't know, that might be the impression that he had. But when he is referring in this voice to English, technically he means Australians. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it is very repulsive. But I need to share it with you. because it has been more than a year that I shared the transcript with different authorities. And I think that now it's a time for the public to be aware of it. So I'm going to play it, and because it's in Persian, I will provide with the writing on the screen with transcript of that voice message. And also I will upload the voice to my Facebook and other social medias, so you can check it yourself or check it with Persian language speakers to see and check the authenticity of the transcript that is going to be provided to you by myself.
در مورد ایمیل پرسونال، ببین مریض مهم نیست چی میخواد. مریض مهم نیست چی میخواد.
He repeated to put emphasis that it's not important that what patient wants or desires.
به تو گفته که من نمیخوام پرسنل اینجا بگو به تخمم. پرسنل اینجا همشون پرایوتی اکت رو ساین کردن، هیچ چیز تو رو به کسی ریلیز نمیکنه. پرسنل اینجا ماشینه، اون خانمی که اونجا نشست کامپیوتره. این حرفا رو بریز دور. خب این پالیسی در واقع کار در استرالیا است. تو هیچ وقت هیچ چیز پرسونال تو شامل شماره تلفن و موبایل و فیسبوک نمیدونم ایمیل ایناشو با مریض مجبور نیستی شیر کنی. مثلا چی میخوای واسه مریض انگلیسی مرام بذاری؟ برین توش. همین مریض توی دولورس تو رو ببینه به سلام نمیکنه.
Actually, we had a Woolworths in our center that the clinic were located. Most patients, they saw me after work there. When they saw me, they came to me, they said hello, and most of the time I had a very lovely chat with them after work. Most of the time it took me longer because I was chatting with my patients, and they all said hello to me.
همین مریض مشکل قانونی پیش بیاد، اولین کسی که سو میکنه تویی. اینها در مدت
Actually, my patients, through the whole legal things that happened between myself and Jupiter and the damages that they caused to me and my family through actually unlawful actions, my patients, they were my rock. Many of them sent support letters to authorities, and they were my witness. And if it was not because of their support, I would collapse. Definitely I would collapse. So they were actually supporting me.
کار کردن در اینجا دستت میاد. البته اینا باید تجربه کنی. اون چیزایی که من به زبون هر چی بهت میگم تو دوباره میری و برمیگردی با یه چیز دیگه.
Yeah, he was referring to this fact that they were telling these things constantly to me, that don't do that, don't do this, don't favor people, don't favor patients. But I was not accepting that. It was absurd. How can I accept to not provide the best care that I can for patients? Why shouldn't I do that? That was the thing that I enjoyed doing it.
اینی خاطر نگفتم که MDA در نهایت چی گفته؟ میتونی یا نمیتونی؟ ولی ادوایس کلی اینه که نکنی دیگه. وقتی که کلینیک ایمیل داره، فکس داره، سیکیور ایمیل داره، ایمیل تو مگه سیکیوره؟ ایمیل تو اگه هک بشه، اطلاعات مریض بیفته دست کسی، چیکار میتونی بکنی؟ ما الان داریم از مریض کانسنت ریتن میگیریم که آیا حاضری ما چیزا رو بهت ایمیل کنیم یا ازت ایمیل دریافت کنیم یا نه. فردا توی دادگاه اینه که جواب میده، نه اینکه تو وربالی مریض به تو گفت من دوست دارم به تو ایمیل کنم، دوست ندارم به کلینیک ایمیل کنم. دوست نداری ایمیل کنی نکن، کونه لقت. پالیسی اینه. متوجه چی میگم؟ اینه که مرام پرام نذار واسه مریض، کنه نقشون ولش کن. از یک ببین همیشه از یک پالیسی تبعیت کن.
I'm sorry, he's very arrogant. I know that.
اگه به گاه رفتی اون وقت من پشتتم، میگم آقا این پالیسی کلینیک بود، من بهش گفتم این کار میکنه. ولی وقتی که تا از من میپرسی من میگم نده پرسونال تو، احتمالا راهد عملا نظرش همینه و تو بدی یک داستانی پیش بیاد کسی پشتت نخواهد بود. تو برو بگو مثلا من به MDA گفتم، MDA گفته که ناقانونیه میتونی مثلا بدی یا هرچی. هیچ ایمیلی سکیورتر از ایمیل کار نیست. اینم از این.
Yeah, it was, I know it was really absurd, but it is the reality. And I think that's enough for today. And I'll get back to you soon with other proofs and documents. And I'm going to continue doing this because I feel that it is my duty. See you soon. Bye.